Hey friend, welcome back to Concierge Weight Loss. I'm Kara Hackleman, certified life and weight loss coach, and this is the fourth week of our Overcoming Weight Loss Challenges series, all the roadblocks to weight loss. This month, we've been talking about the five biggest challenges people face on their weight loss journey and how to actually overcome them. We've talked about plateaus, emotional eating, and why willpower isn't the answer. And today we're tackling something that every single one of my clients deals with, creating boundaries with food and family. Because sometimes it's not your cravings that trip you up, it's other people. You probably know exactly what I'm talking about. The comments, the questions, the helpful, air quotes, of observations. People say things like, "Are you still trying to lose weight? You don't need to lose any more. You should eat more. You should eat less. I could never do what you're doing." Sometimes it's curiosity, sometimes it's concern, and sometimes it's just people figuring things out loud. They comment on what you're eating, what you're wearing, how your body looks, and half the time it's not even really about you. It's about them, their own relationship with food, their body image, or their health, and their own insecurities or beliefs. When you're in the middle of your own journey, especially when it's new, those comments can sting. They can make you question yourself. I used to get so triggered when people would comment on what I was eating or how I looked. It felt like everyone had an opinion, and somehow my body had become public property. But the turning point came when I realized something really important. I needed to decide ahead of time what I thought. Once I had clarity on what I believed about my goals, my body, my choices, I didn't need everyone else to agree. So now when someone comments, I remind myself they're either misinformed about me, my body, and my intentions, or I just simply disagree with them. Either way, it doesn't require me to change anything. Definitely doesn't usually trigger me anymore. Here's the truth: most people are just noticing something, they're processing it out loud. And in their minds, they're often trying to be supportive or even helpful. They're being as lovingly concerned as they know how to be. So I try to smile, assume the best, and sometimes even pause to consider, do I even agree with this? Or is there something here I haven't thought about? Maybe there is. And then I make my own decision, because here's the boundary: no one is entitled to an opinion about my body, my food, or my choices. If I decide someone is close enough to me, maybe a partner, my coach, a doctor, then sure, they can have input. But everyone else, they get a polite, calm boundary. Here are a few I love and my clients use all the time. When someone comments on your food or weight, that's interesting. Or, "I'll think about that." You just did, right? You said you'd think about it. Maybe it was for a moment. Or, "I appreciate your concern. I think I've got it handled." When someone pushes food, you might say, "It looks delicious, but I've had all I can eat." Or, "Maybe later." Or, "No, thank you, I'm full." When someone crosses the line with my body comments, I prefer not to talk about my body. Or, "I'm working on listening to what my body needs right now." Or, I sometimes I just say, "Oh, huh, how about that?" You don't owe anyone an explanation. You can be polite and simple, but firm. That's all a boundary needs to be. So, a lot of people think boundaries are walls. They're not, they're guidelines for how to stay connected without losing yourself. When you set clear boundaries around food and body conversations, you're not shutting people out. You're protecting your peace, your progress, and your energy. Because when you know what you believe, what matters to you, and what feels right, other people's opinions, they just simply lose power. Take a moment this week and think about this question: what do I believe about my food, my body, my choices? The clearer you are on your answers, the easier it is to stay calm and confident when others comment. You don't have to defend yourself. You just have to decide for yourself. What do you think? So, if this episode hit home, I have a free guide that goes along with all of these podcasts this month: five weight loss roadblocks and how to fix them. It'll help take you to the next step. It walks you through the most common challenges, including boundaries like this, and how to overcome them with clarity and confidence. You can grab it at www.coachingkara.com/roadblocks. That's coachingkara.com/roadblocks. All right, boundaries aren't about keeping people out, they're about staying connected without losing yourself. I also want you to remember you don't have to explain your choices. You don't have to earn their approval, and you don't have to let anyone else's comments change how you feel about your body or your goals. They can just be wrong. You get to decide what you believe, and that's the only opinion that matters. So, next week, we're going to wrap up our Overcoming Weight Loss Challenges series with one of my favorite topics, building self trust in your choices, because sometimes those comments do hurt, and we want to have our own trust in ourselves. Until then, take a deep breath, hold your head high, and remember your peace is worth protecting. See you next week.